We just came from World Camp, of course, and during the seminar in Las Vegas with Shinichi Tohei Sensei, and during World Camp with our classes, with him there, the emphasis was on use of mind. He was emphasizing for us that what he feels is a big misunderstanding in general, key principle training. Even when we say something like extend ki, it sounds like we can use ki in some way. But he told us that, and I remember Tohei Sensei saying the same thing, ki fills the whole universe. In fact, ki is the whole universe. We talk about the movement of ki or ki movement as if it was something special or something different. But all movement is ki movement. In other words, everything is ki. All movement is ki moving. Whether it's a hurricane or a freight train or a waterfall or an insect flying or me moving my hand. It's all ki movement. So we can't think about using ki because it's governed by, coordinated by, maintained by how we use mind. The big mistake we make is we try to focus on something that we want to accomplish, even something as simple as just holding a bokken or holding someone's hand. And we have an intention of some kind. We think we're going to do something. This is why what I've been emphasizing for so long about the misinterpretation of the four basic principles. It sounds like you're supposed to do something, but I want to point out to you Suzuki Sensei's four basic principles, which I asked him to the right of the board over here. So what? Do nothing. Be natural. Don't worry, be happy, which I think he got from the song. And I like this so much because this is Suzuki Sensei's effort to help us understand that it's not something you do, it is a natural condition that you're born with. And letting go of that which gets in the way of it, which is your intention to accomplish something, is what allows ki to move freely. And you really have to look very closely at that because this is not what is heralded and championed in our world, nor has it ever been. That is not what we respect. We respect, and we are taught from very young in our educational system, by our parents, magazines, newspapers, media, religion, that we have to strive forward to accomplish something. And a great nation we can be if we do. A great human being you can be if you do this. When you see something wrong, you fix it. So, as you can see, that leads to the idea of all means are justified by the end. And that may sound like something other people do, but that's what we do all the time. We justify our methods and what we do, even if it disturbs our family, disturbs the community, disturbs the country, disturbs the world, and causes more anguish and suffering. We don't care because our idea of good, we posit as the end of the goal. So the ends justify the means. But that's not what's happening, because the goal never happens. What happens is the means. Every moment we are living, we are practicing the means. So how we use our mind, intentionally or naturally, is the key, K-E-Y, to ki, K-I. The natural ki movement already is occurring everywhere in the universe. If we want to unify with the movement of the universe, if we want to be a part of that, Aikido means becoming one with or joining with this ki movement of the universe. That's what we're practicing. So the secret is how to do that. So we spent a lot of time last night practicing little methods to see how we do with that. And naturally we notice right away that we have a lot of intention in our minds, and we have a habit of trying to do something, and if it doesn't work, we try harder. So we make it more difficult and more difficult and more difficult. So more suffering and more pain, and more difficulty, and more confusion, and more unhappiness. So let's just start with something, basic. So, in Aikido, we always start with posture. Posture is the most fundamental practice that we have. Why? In Aikido, in Japanese language, they say seishi. Right? Shisei, sorry. I'm looking at Sayaka. Correct me, Sayaka, if I say something wrong in Japanese. Shisei. In English, we have two words, posture and attitude. Right? So one is mental, one is physical. But in the Japanese word, shisei, it includes both. And this is kind of important for us to understand. Not that it's a better language, but they are expressing something fundamentally important by using the word that way. Or in other words, they're saying, you must already automatically understand this. We don't need to have two words. First, in other words, mind leads body. The state of your mind or your attitude is reflected in the state of your body. And when we correct your body, as we often have to in Aikido, because we're using form, even if we're just standing still, we're going to correct your posture, correct the way that your body stands. We're not actually saying change the way you stand, we're saying change the way you think. Or maybe more importantly, a better way to say that is change the way you feel. The feeling is what is expressed in the posture. In other words, when you see me standing here a certain way, you're seeing an expression. You're just seeing my body, but you're seeing an expression of a certain feeling that I have. If I could stand this way without the feeling, it wouldn't seem the same, even though it would look the same. You can feel the difference. Okay? So keep in mind all during the day when we're doing physical things, that those physical things and the corrections that we make relating to those things are really changing mind, not changing body. Choi Sensei emphasizes this constantly. He always would say to us, you hear me talking about body, but I'm really just talking about mind. Okay? So when you hear me talk about body, think mind. So what do you think? This is posture is excellent, right? He's taking a movie. He's just waiting for what's going to happen. So this is, of course, very good. Yeah, it's very good. But something is disturbing. Something is coming up a little bit here. That's really just a form of expression. I mean, there's nothing coming up over here. What we say. Sorry. I didn't mean that. It's a feeling that we become slightly disturbed. It's just like Toi Sensei, he just read the Shokushu Reisei Shin. When the moon is clearly reflected in the water is calm. You know the water is calm because the moon is clearly reflected in it. The water is calm just because it got that way all by itself. It didn't get that way from you doing something to the surface of the water to calm it down. When you take a key test, when we take a key test, we tend to try to calm ourselves down. That's like sticking your fingers on the surface of the pond and trying to hold it calm. But of course you can't do that. Any effort that you make to calm the water in that way disturbs the water. And then the moon is not clearly reflected. So if you have lots of experience like Carlos does, then this happens on a very, very subtle level. So which is why this is very easy for him, but I walked over here and gave him a different kind of test, just to see if there might be a little bit of disturbance. So what I think we practiced this last night, we allow it, we leave it alone, and allow it to rest. Allow the, Toizen says, that's why he says weight underside. You allow the weight of your upper body, and this is the feeling, this is not a physical thing. You allow the feeling of your upper body to fall and rest at its very lowest point. That's the point we call the one point in the lower abdomen. You allow the feeling of your upper body to drop. And just rest there, like a pool of water. You don't have to do anything. And then you can practice key test. Okay, try each other, please.